middle of the road. It's just a feeling of a distant melody unknown. I was doing fine, I minded my own business till the day you took me home. You came into my life like a sweet embrace, swept me off my feet.
Hi everyone, I'm here to share my final flip through of these pins and needles junk journal needle books that I've been making this week, and they came out really nice. I had so much fun making them. It was hard to stop adding things to them and back away and say, okay, I'm going to stop here. I would imagine the recipients of these might want to put a few things of their own in it, and they were getting pretty full. So why don't I take you through a few of these, and then I'll just show you the embellishments on the other ones. They were all similar, but also they were all different. So let me just move these out of the way, and I will take you through. The mini junk journals inside. Oh, look, I have a rainbow. I have a crystal in my window, and it throws rainbows in the afternoon into the craft room and throughout the whole cabin at different times of day. So I always get excited when I catch one. The junk journals in here, I actually did a design team project for a friend of mine who has a new Etsy shop. Her name is Marge, and the name of her Etsy shop is Artistic Principles for You. And I'll link that below the video. And she's got some wonderful, well, without the rainbow, wonderful journaling cards and sewing themed journal kit and just a number of really neat things in there. I'm planning to use her farm kitchen stuff in a cookbook project, a couple of journals down the road. So just adorable stuff there. Wonderful digi, so definitely check that out. So inside the book, this is covered in pieced sari, and I used the Lurex sari, which has the gold stitching in it. And the closure has a little Tim Holtz word coin on the bottom. And inside, let me just zoom you in a bit, forgive the shake. Inside each of these I have a button card, because, you know, buttons. I have a thing for buttons. And I made embellishments with some buttons on a chain I made with jump rings, and some bobbins stamped and wrapped with embroidery thread. Something else I decided to do was I took pins, pretty straight pins, and my beaded charms. They stick right in like a stick pin, and I added some of those for embellishments. And just some extra charms and safety pins of different colors, a little bit of lace, and some bulb pins, needles. And then I added a super big safety pin. And what's great about these is there's no coil on the bottom, so you can hook it into one side and then embellish the whole other side, like a kilt pin often won't have coils on the bottom, and you can do that, but that was a great find, those safety pins. And a pair of scissors in the back with a tassel on it. I like a tassel or something to mark which scissors belong inside of a needle book for me, so they don't get swept up and stuck in my sewing basket or my other craft thingies. And then in the back I simply have a little paper clip here that I've clipped on sewing bobbins. And then I printed a few of the stitching printables the journal cards that are offered in my shop. Sewing mends the soul. I love that. My kids always said I was happiest when I was sewing. And this one says, life is short, buy the fabric. Any of you who follow me know that I go by that. And then in the front pocket, here is the mini junk journal for this one. And I have charms, which are hooked again with a paper clip, which I find is nice. Then the person who is the recipient of it, they can move it, or I'm shedding. They can move it, or they can leave it there, or put it somewhere more convenient. Did some stitching down the sari here, and of course some buttons and a little handmade tag. So these are just cardstock covers with some muslin tabs on them. They're 3x3. Nice mini ones. And here's one of the cards from Marge's shop. Just looks so elegant. I sewed it on as a pocket. Did some stamping on an index card. Another index card with some ephemera elements from her shop. And I love this. I love the little end on Marge's printouts that came with the sewing, the vintage sewing, that are like the little tabs that fall off, the old-fashioned spools. I always thought that was such a wonderful effect to add to the junk journals. She has quite a few of them in that kit. And this little girl is also in her ephemera, as well as this button card. I love that. This was actually printed on one of her journal pages for her kit, and I reduced the size and printed them small so that I could do things with them in these mini junk journals. So I used that one as a pocket. And another little journaling card. This was actually half of a journaling page that I cut down and just made it into a small card. Another spool label, and a little bobbin from there. It has a flower and a spool on it. And an adorable, look at that journaling card, little kitten in a basket. Is that adorable or what? And I just put little stamped, cut down to size, tea-dyed index card in there. And of course, I have said time and time again, Tracy Fox has ruined me. Can't make a paperclip without putting a curl in the end of it. Just seems wrong. So this is the first one. The second one I'll take you through is actually one that I made for myself. So it's a little bit over the top, has some bells and whistles. I was experimenting. I didn't know if I would like lace on top of the sari, and I do. I like it. This is actually a strip of wide lace that comes from Hobby Lobby. They sell this by the yard, so that goes on sale at Hobby Lobby every 3 to 4 weeks. They have a 50% off sale. So if you like this lace, you can get it there then. And a little cameo pinned on the front. And for this one, I actually put the scissors on the front. I'm not sure if I like them inside or outside best, but they ended up outside for this one. And I accidentally made one extra pair of bobbins, so I just put an extra, I don't know if I like it that busy at the bottom, but I just put an extra clip there. And on this one, I'm getting smarter, since I cannot make the felt be perfectly symmetrical when I stitch it in, I decided to deliberately stitch it on the front page at an angle. So I just added some little button dangles. The other thing I figured out while I was doing these is the embellishments that hang and swing, like the safety pins and the bulb pins and this. If I take a straight needle pin rather and tack down the bottom of it so it doesn't swing, it still dangles, but then you're not putting it to the side every time you flip a page. So, and the other thing I did is I have this fabulous, this is my sewing bobbin. I love my little, it's like a little armor, the metal, and I've used this for decades. And what I did was I just put a safety pin and braided some crochet thread and attached it to this, which that's where I've kept it. I've always kept it attached to a clothespin, but the clothespin was never attached to the rest of my sewing stuff. So that was really a really neat idea, and I like it there. So, and the inside, I've got a little teddy bear bead there and a sewing machine, and here's some, oh, I missed one. Here's some safety pins, which I have tacked down with an extra pin, and my needles. Put a Tim Holtz word band in there. And some more charms, little stick pins. I love this one. It's a giraffe. And here's another safety pin that I put some beaded embellishments and butterflies on. And here is the little mini junk journal for mine. The cover picture for all the junk journals came from my digital image set, The Clothesline, but inside all the ephemera came from Marge's shop. So neat. One of the collaged journal pages from her set that I reduced the size on and stitched it into a page here. Really pretty bobbin from her ephemera, and I just cut it out and distressed it, tied a little lace around it. Little Tim Holtz washi. If April Reeves is watching, I'm using my washi tape as per instructions. Here's another pretty sewing card from one of the kits, and this is half of a journaling page, if I remember correctly, that I reduced and just made it into a little mini tag. I just stamped on some muslin there and sewed it in as a patch. More Tim Holtz washi. I guess he calls it tissue tape. Another journaling card from the set. Some stamping, Tim Holtz sewing kit. Here's another part of a journal page that I reduced and cropped so I could make it into a little journaling card in a tuck spot. And this is just a collaged tea-dyed index card I stamped and put a little extra lace, and I made a tuck spot that I just sewed in this end of a spool label from the sewing kit. And this is a collage page, an elements page, I guess, that I reduced and made into a journaling card that I just attached there. That's really neat. That also came from one of the pages, and another spool. So these are my needle books and the junk journals that go in them. A couple more ideas than I had in the class, embellishing wise, just things I thought to add as I was going along. I really appreciate all the wonderful feedback that everybody's given while I put all this together, and And I appreciate you joining me. I will put the link to, let's see if I can bring you back out here. I will put the link to the Needlebook course beneath this video, as well as the links to a number of things that I use to make these, and to Marge's shop. And I really appreciate you joining me. I'll be back soon. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Till the day you took me home, you came into my life like a sweet embrace, swept me off my feet and made me whole.